Ooh, Dubai's radical plan.
Dubai wants to become one of the world's most livable cities by 2040. The only problem? Well, right now, it's
no one
a bit
lives
of a
there.
mess. Express
Isn't part of the problem right now is that no one lives in Dubai? I didn't say the Arab civilizations aren't innovative. What I'm saying is that the natural structure and formation of cities is very rarely just like sprung up. Dubai is one of the only one that is like a ton of people live in Dubai. What does a ton of people mean? A ton relative to what city? Or relative to the size of the city or how many people could live there? 3.3 mil for a desert city? A lot of Filipinos says. I didn't know if Dubai. I always imagined Dubai wasn't very. Yeah, I thought it was supposed to be designed for like 10 million plus.
There's pretty minimal public transport. Mega projects are disconnected from critical infrastructure, and man-made islands are sinking. Its harshest critics say the city is a series of postcard attractions connected by big highways. To sort that all out, there's now a radical new plan to properly urbanize this desert city by 2040. But is it really possible to fix Dubai?
Now, one big question that we're all asking, what will Dubai look like by 2040?
It's getting to be a pretty familiar sight. Dubai's leaders gather for the announcement of yet another incredible project. The Burj Khalifa is lit up with dazzling LEDs and fireworks. The press is inundated with glossy renderings and superlative statements.
People-centric urban plan.
But this project is different. It's not a skyscraper or world's biggest something, but...
So that's really, okay, if the project is not another skyscraper, not the world's biggest Ferris wheel, like, I'm curious to see what this is.
An idea that could fundamentally change Dubai forever.
They say here in the UAE, forward is the only way the wind blows.
The 24...
Okay, well, UAE, if forward is the only way the wind blows, I encourage you to consider forward-thinking policies with respect to sexuality and gender.
40 master plan will see 3 existing areas redeveloped into new city centres, 2 entirely new city centres created, and brand new financial and technology districts established to boost innovation and invention.
What does that mean?
$680 million will go into planting 8 million square metres of green corridors for pedestrians and cyclists. Neighbourhoods will be retrofitted to become miniature 15-minute cities with their own commercial and recreational centres. And linking it all together will be a massive new public transport network that'll be within 800 metres of half the population. That means that
they are pretty liberal now? You guys think the UAE is liberal? What?
those people will never be more than about half a mile away from public transport, a move that would effectively make the entire city walkable.
Well, if you're talking about compared to Saudi Arabia, sure. But
critical education and health facilities will be increased by 25%, and 60% of the Emirates will be purely dedicated to nature reserves and wildlife sanctuaries. It's seriously impressive, but when you think about it, it's also pretty standard. Shouldn't all functioning international cities have public transport, green space, areas to have fun, and financial hubs? Well, yes, but Dubai isn't a regular city, and it was never really built to be.
Women have some rights equals liberal.
To understand why such a bold master plan is now necessary, you kind of have to get your head around how we got here. Half a century ago, Dubai was a small trading port home to just 30,000 people. But that all changed in 1966 when oil was discovered.
To most of us, oil may be just the stuff that drives the car. To Arabia, it's a revolution. There isn't a thing it leaves untouched.
By Middle Eastern standards, it was only a modest amount, and neighbouring Abu Dhabi had 10 times more. But it was enough to fund then-ruler Sheikh Rashid's grand ambitions. He understood that in order for Dubai to survive after the oil ran out, they'd have to get the world's attention and investment.
Do you not like the word crisis?
No, it's a challenge. In Arabian Peninsula, every day is a challenge for us. Challenge for the water, challenge to something to eat, and everyday challenge, so we take it as a challenge.
Sitting in pretty much the middle of the world, Dubai was always
I will admit, Dubai is, if nothing else, a very interesting project.
Naturally well positioned to become an aviation superhub. And with easy access to Europe, Asia and Africa, the city's airport quickly became the world's busiest by international passengers.
The vultures of world commerce
For those asking if I've been to Dubai, I've flown through Dubai several
descend
times.
on Zaid's little kingdom. They're perfectly decent vultures, just bankers and businessmen doing their job.
By minimising sales and income tax, the city also drew in companies and investors. But it meant the government had to find a new dependable source of income. With few taxes and a dwindling supply of oil, they turned to tourism, and quickly discovered they could lure people out of the airport with incredible megaprojects. And that's where Dubai's build it and they will come idea all started. It was a policy that worked, but one that some claim tended to prioritise the glitz and glamour. It seemed to be that even if the project made little sense in itself, if it could pull tourists and investors into the 50-degree desert heat, then it would probably get the go-ahead. That sometimes meant that construction of the projects was
Like one of those interesting things, right? You look at LA, and everyone can shit on LA as much as you want. The city is sprawling. It has all these awful, they never built the city upwards. They just built it outwards. There's all these like generic, like American mallscapes, these giant parking lots. But God, at the end of the day, LA's weather is amazing. And you can't really fix weather, chap.
Was even ahead of the infrastructure. One of the most famous examples is probably at the Burj Khalifa, where it's been widely reported that the skyscraper isn't actually hooked up to the city's sewage system. The world's tallest building could, at full capacity, hold 35,000 people, and the city quickly realised it wouldn't be able to handle the amount of waste that they could, theoretically, all produce. So instead of expanding the municipal sewage system, it was decided that it would be more cost-effective to have trucks arrive every morning and carry the waste to a treatment plant.
Here's all the poop trucks all lined up. How much, Mark? 10,000 gallons each.
Some believe that you could then see this kind of...
I see what they're saying there, where it's like this city now shows what it means to just have really poor baseline infrastructure. Isn't LA a desert? Okay, chat, you guys need to understand something about LA. LA is a desert as in it's dry, but LA, not like north, not up in the valley. LA is in like, where I'm at, like whether it's like West Hollywood, Beverly Hills, Santa Monica, West LA area, Culver City, all of that is usually somewhere between 60 degrees and 80 degrees Fahrenheit year round. LA weather is so nice that it's actually depressing because you forget how nice, you take for granted how nice the weather is.
Thinking in a
Wow,
lot
can you turn
of
on
the city's
subtitles?
planning,
Absolutely.
like the series of man-made islands that were entirely dependent on water taxis and private boats to survive, or the city's reliance on highways with relaxed speeding laws that let those fast cars go as fast as they want. It's all enough to make the 2040 plan feel like a no-brainer, and with Dubai's population set to exceed that of Singapore and hit 6 million by 2040,
Oh, so it is
it's
gonna be
clear
bigger.
why the plan is so critical. But will it actually work, and will it be enough? Well, everything that's been outlined makes sense and has proven to be a success in other cities. The scale of the task to make it happen in Dubai is biblical, but then this place has a reputation for redrawing the boundaries when it comes to construction. It's notoriously difficult to retrofit public transport networks into major urban areas. Often they have to skirt around existing major developments or dig under them at massive expense. And so far plans for the new metro lines have tended to be eye-catching rather than practical, with futuristic inner-city SkyTrains mooted as a way to avoid underground tunnelling. The challenge with planting trees is equally immense. Greening a city in the middle of a desert is never easy, but previous attempts to do it haven't gone sour because of a lack of rainfall. A plan to plant 1 million trees in 2010 fell apart because a major developer wanted to use the land instead. For the 2040 plan to work, the city will need to come to terms with the other benefits that dedicated protected green space can bring. Benefits that are all set out in the document. That's kind of where the biggest challenge lies. To really make the 2040 plan work, the city needs an almost fundamental change in its thinking and approach. It's the success of Dubai's current strategy that makes shifting to a new one incredibly tough. But it now seems ready to make the push. Dubai's rulers can see what it takes for a global city to succeed and are looking to replicate the impact of other places.
So as a result, we're going to see a major capital works program here in Dubai. We're going to see more entrepreneurship and more investment, things that the city absolutely needs to stay viable into the future.
The master plan itself is just that, a high-level roadmap. Go on social media and you'll see the kinds of people talking about it aren't urban planners or architects, but everyday citizens on the street. It's helping Emiratis imagine the future of their city. Dubai's astonishing growth has dazzled the world and got everyone's attention. But now it needs to evolve from build it and they will come to...
Have you been to Bali? Yeah, I've been to Bali. I went to... that's when I flew through Dubai, was when I went to Bali.
Adapt it so they'll stay. If you liked this video and you want to learn more about where construction is headed, make sure you're subscribed to Tomorrow's Build.